So I've gone over everything you need to know about these Dragon Hunt modifiers, what they actually do, and why you need them to get your gear. And you can check out all that information on my previous videos on modifiers and the hunt system as a whole. However, which ones would I actually recommend you go and focus on and upgrade to be able to essentially get any of this gear? Which ones are realistic to level up and actually use in Dragon Hunts to be able to successfully complete them and in a moderate amount of time? Before we get started, I'd like to give a special thank you to all of these channel members for helping me keep my channel going. So let's jump into things. Well, you can see I've maxed out every single one of them. I've gone and actually used every single one of them. And I found the best solution is when you queue up to an Ancient Dragon Hunt and you go to place these modifiers, the ones you should choose is Death's Door as your medium modifier, and then 2 of the following 3 hard modifiers. You can forget about the extreme ones and the easy ones. And then there's no point having Ferocity or IT Bitey, because Ferocity just makes it so that you take more damage and you die more often. And IT Bitey just reduces your defense and your offense, meaning you'll die more and you'll deal less damage, meaning the fight will take a lot longer. Then with the extreme ones, Denied just makes it so you're not using your artifact, your mount, or consumables, which is goddamn horrible and makes the fight last far longer than necessary. Rotating Chaos, it is the most lenient extreme one, and if you need a lot of those dragon plates, as you can see, you need them for your mythic armor, for your feet, and also your shirt and pants, and you want to get a lot of them quickly, then you could run with Rotating Chaos instead of the Easily Irritated one, or even just using both of them. But since all you're getting is 16 for extreme instead of 12 for hard, I just don't feel adding that extra layer of difficulty, especially with Rotating Chaos, blocking players' powers on a random basis. So you might have 10 seconds with no encounters, you might have 10 seconds with no at-wills, and this can just be horrible for a tank or a healer who needs to hold aggro or to heal people. So Easily Irritated, which doesn't affect your player's capabilities, you can see here all it does is make the dragon enrage a bit more often, which means sure they will do a few more mechanics, which means they will do a bit more damage every now and again in that enraged state, but it won't affect your party members in terms of their effectiveness, like Trickery Reversal will, this being your next extreme modifier. And this one, I just don't see why you would ever use it. It basically reflects damage back to you as you attack with your at-wills, which is goddamn horrible for classes who get a lot of damage out of at-wills, rogues and barbarians namely. So overall, I don't see any of the extreme ones worth using, except perhaps Rotating Chaos in a more experienced group. Your hard ones, they will give you the option to obtain 12 of those dragon parts on an Ancient Dragon Hunt, and so you'll want to be choosing the particular hard ones that give you the particular parts that you need. For example, the plates for the armor, feet, and shirt and pants, the webbing for your arms, your waist pieces, and your black, blue, and red artifacts, and the finger bones for your rings and your green and white gems. So my priority is getting hardened plates, finger bones, and then dragon's claws. And that is why I would go with Death's Doors, Easily Irritated, and Resilience. And then once I have enough of these dragon's hardened plates, we have 292 and we only need 200 for our armor. Once I got that, I'm usually just using, again, Death's Door, Limited Conditioning, and Resilience. So that's generally what I would go with. Again, just switching out one of these hard ones every now and again for an Easily Irritated, depending if you need the plates or not. And so, yes, if you're to go and upgrade your modifiers, those are the 4 modifiers I would recommend everybody have maxed out. So no matter what group you're in, at least one person will have those 4 modifiers. Again, it's just Death's Door, Easily Irritated, Limited Conditioning, and Resilience. Forget about all the other modifiers, they're not needed. And what you can see with this document is that to get your dragon's ridges, you need to kill 9 or 10 of those ancient dragons. And you'll want to be killing 12 a week to get your weekly 80 cap. And if you're just running with those hard and medium modifiers, you're getting on average 12 from your medium and then certainly 12 from your hard of those claws and those other 3 reagents. That means in 10 runs, you're guaranteed to get 120 of each of these dragon parts, albeit you'll be bouncing between these three since you'll only be using 2 of them and then getting dragon claws. But if you don't need claws, well, you can chuck out the medium one and just run 3 hearts and you get all these. So in 10 ancient dragon runs, you're getting 120 of each. So you just need to do about 16 ancient dragon runs with those hard modifiers and you got more than enough of these parts for most of this equipment, albeit you'll have to do 17 to get the hardened plates. But since you'll be doing so many dragon hunts to get your rank up, you should have no problem getting enough of those dragon parts before you get high enough rank to actually buy those certain gear pieces. And since you're running 2 modifiers, getting 2 different types of reagents, because you need nearly 20 ancient runs to get enough parts to buy a piece of gear, well, you need those ridges anyway. And so over 2 weeks, if you just run, let's say 12 a week, you'll have more than enough of those parts to buy 2 pieces of mythic gear. So it all balances out, and in the end of the day, you're limited on the amount of ridges you have, not the dragon parts, as long as you're running with those hard and medium modifiers. Now I can go into the details as to why you would upgrade those modifiers. When they are maxed out, you can see a medium modifier will give you a high chance at more dragon parts. That just means you will obtain on every ancient dragon run 24 dragon parts. The problem though with medium modifiers is that it's a 50-50 between getting the claws and the horns. You will guaranteed get either one of those, but 50-50, but still getting 24 per run makes it more than enough to be able to compare with getting just 12 on a hard modifier. You at least get the right part you want every run, and that is why you upgrade those hard ones, because it gives you the guaranteed rare dragon parts every time, just getting 12. Without them upgraded to max, you're getting much less parts on the medium one, and then on the hard ones you're just getting a chance to actually get the drops, and so you might not even get them, and that's just silly. Of course, many of you will be farming your asses off for these dragon hunts just for your dragon hunter rank, and once you've hit rank 50, you need to be doing ancient dragon hunts to increase that rank any further. I still have to do a bunch this week on this character, and make sure to try and get your weekly haul of these dragon ridges, which are vital for all the stuff on the mythic gear tab needs those ridges. And very fortunately, anything on this epic tab you can see doesn't need any of those. You just need astral diamonds and then those claws, as I was mentioning, and of course some elemental strands. I just made a video on how to AFK farm for those, so getting your modifiers up shouldn't be too much of a trouble at all. Just standing around checking back every 10 minutes or so your character isn't kicked from the server, and letting your companion do all the work. So overall, hopefully this was somewhat insightful to you guys. Again, there's no need to use extreme modifiers whatsoever. The small increase in the amount of parts you get is not worth the hassle they provide at all. You do not want to run with modifiers that reduce your player's effectiveness. You're better off going in there at full power and just otherwise increasing the HP or the rate that he rages. If you go into a fight where everybody dies a ton, well, you might have a little bit of problem with Death's Door, but at least it's better off than having Frosty or IT Bitey. So again, I'd like to give a massive thank you to all of my channel members for helping me keep my channel going. If I presented this well, consider leaving the video a like, and if you're new around here, consider subscribing. We'll see you guys around. Goodbye for now.